Drumsticks are such an easy and delicious appetizer. You can have these for any of your gatherings, or you can use these as an easy weeknight dinner. They're absolutely delicious, and today I'm going to show you how to make them with a delicious honey and orange glaze that is going to make you not be able to eat drumsticks any other way. So we're going to start by making our marinade, and I've got some honey here, and I'm going to be adding some fresh squeezed mandarin juice to it. You can also use orange juice, whatever citrus orange you have on hand. We have some tamari sauce here, and if you want to keep it soy-free, you can also use coconut aminos for this. I've got some garlic powder, onion powder, some ginger to give it a little bit of a kick, and some sesame oil, and that's it. Our marinade is pretty easy. We're just gonna go ahead and whisk this all together. It's a little sticky with the honey, but just go ahead and get it combined, break down all those little spice pebbles, and that's it. This is our marinade. It's so easy. Now, the trick with these is you wanna marinate them at least for 2 hours, but even better if you can do 6 hours or overnight. So the longer the better with these. So it's great because you can prep this the day before and not have to worry about doing all the prepping on a gathering that you're gonna have. You're gonna serve these as an appetizer. So that's it, that's our marinade. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna save half of our marinade and we're gonna put it on at the very end as a glaze. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use half of what I've got here. I'm gonna place it into a Ziploc bag with my drumsticks, and we're gonna pop this in the fridge to marinate and come back and bake these delicious drumsticks. Our chicken has been marinating for about 4 hours now, and I went ahead and pulled it out of the fridge and placed it into my baking pan here. Now I arranged them with the skin side up, and we're gonna cook it for 20 minutes at 400 degrees. We're gonna flip it over, cook it for another 20 minutes, and then at that point we'll evaluate if we need to do any broiling or if the skins are crispy enough. So let's put this in the oven and we'll be back once it's cooked. And our baked chicken has come out of the oven and it is baked to perfection. I put it on broil for 1 minute each side. And in the meantime, while the baking was finishing up, I've had my sauce here simmering, and this is the rest of our marinade that we made earlier. I've had it simmering for about 7 minutes or so, and it started to thicken up a little bit. And now we're gonna put the finishing touches on it to make it really sticky for our topping of our chicken. So what I've got here is a little bit of cassava flour, and I just sprinkle a little bit in as you whisk. Make sure you're whisking at the same time that you're adding it, and you don't want to add too much at once because it can get really clumpy. But we're going to be using this instead of regular flour or cornstarch to thicken our sauce. And this is going to make it a lot easier for us to be able to put that glaze onto the chicken and not have it all run off. It'll actually stay on our chicken. So I'm doing this as I'm over low heat. You don't want to have it simmering anymore. You've already done that. And we're just going to add a little bit more in. And usually the magic place is somewhere between 4 to 6 teaspoons of cassava flour, so I just add a little bit in until I get the thickness that I want, and that is it. Once we've got this thickened, we're gonna go ahead and add this onto our chicken drumsticks. We're gonna be using a pastry brush to go ahead and brush that glaze on, and then we're gonna top it with some fresh herbs, and these are perfectly ready to enjoy. So looks like I've got it about to the right thickness that I want here. Again, you don't want it too thick. As it cools, it's gonna start to thicken a little bit more as well. So just enough that you'll be able to get a nice coating on it, and just make sure it's fully whisked. That is ready to go. We're gonna do our pastry brush now. I like to just grab the drumsticks by the top and make sure you've let them cool a little bit, because otherwise they're just gonna be a little bit too hot to handle. And that's it. We're just gonna go ahead and fully glaze this. And I like to glaze each of the drumsticks first and then plate them. And then at the very end, we can go back with the glaze that's remaining, and we can go ahead and fully glaze the rest of them with whatever is left over. So let's go ahead and glaze these. Okay. So we've got that fully glazed, and now what you can do is you can go ahead and take your pastry brush, make sure you've got this nice and thick here, and then you can just finish doing an extra layer of glaze just to make those covered in honey. All right, and once you've got your glaze fully coated on those, we're just gonna go ahead and top it with our fresh herbs. So you can use a little bit of fresh basil, which I really like to do. I like to do some white sesame seeds, and of course some fresh chives, and that's it. These drumsticks are ready to enjoy. They're absolutely delicious. You can get this recipe on my website. It's thetrailtohealth.com, and you can find other healthy and delicious recipes in my cookbook, Wandering Palate, which is available on Amazon and my website as well.